Do you find yourself wishing to be past this stage because it has to be easier when fill in the blank? I did too. And in this episode, I want to share a mindset shift that helps me to be present on difficult days and not worry about getting past this stage. Hi, I'm Crystal Wagner. I'm a life and parenting coach, and I'm a late diagnosed autistic ADHD mom of two neurodivergent daughters who are transitioning into adulthood. And that's what I do. I help moms launch their teens into adulthood with confidence and grace. I remember when my daughters were young and I would think, oh man, today was so hard. I can't wait until they are older. They can take a shower on their own. They can drive themselves places. Whatever the stage is, it always seemed like it would be better when they were a little older. But the reality is, it doesn't get easier. It just changes. Pretty early on, I realized I needed to have a different mindset so that I would be present with them and would be able to enjoy the time because I knew that in the blink of an eye, they would be grown up. I remember the phrase, the days are long, but the years are short. And that helped me through a lot of the time. I had to learn to think about each stage a little differently. It wasn't that one was easier or harder, they were just different. Early on, I found myself physically drained. With one child, I was mentally drained because of she's gifted, and the questions that she would ask would just make me stop and think, I don't know how to answer that. And they were non-stop. The questions just kept coming. My other daughter was a little more physically demanding, and so I had to keep up with her. And now that they are a teen and a young adult, I am emotionally drained more often than physically or mentally. So it was just different in the way that I needed to show up for them, and it didn't get easier or harder. Some days feel harder than others, but if I think back to when they were young, those days were hard too. When I stopped thinking about how it needed to get easier, I started to appreciate what was in each stage. During this stage, you, like me, may have been thinking that it's going to get easier when our children are adults. They're going to graduate from high school, they're going to move off on their own, whether to college or a career, and it's got to be easier, right? The reality is they need us as much now as they did before. If they're neurodivergent, they have special challenges integrating into a world not designed for them. So I find that my daughters need me just as much now as they did when they were younger, but it looks different. They need me to show up in a different way, to be there for them to ask questions, for them to process with, sometimes for them to call and vent about the frustrations that they're experiencing. Just like when our children were newborns and toddlers and they were learning new skills, they're learning new skills now too. The skills that they have now are to launch themselves into adulthood instead of learning to talk or learning to walk. We still need to remember that they're on a journey and there are different stages in this journey. So what helps me remember this? Well, first of all, my husband and I remind each other of this quite often. We will get past this. It is okay. They will learn these skills. We just need to be patient, keep providing opportunities for them to learn, sometimes providing opportunities for them to experience the consequences of their choices, but still being here and being that safety net for them. It's helpful to have someone that you can call on those difficult days and say, oh my goodness, this is what happened. And for them to not try to tell you, oh, it's going to get better or do this to solve the problem. It's just, you need a listening ear. You need someone who just will let you vent it out and know that you're still in this. You're still in the long game, and you just need a safe space to be able to talk about what's happening. We also need community to hold each other up. You might find an online support group, you might find a coach, you might find a group with children with similar challenges so that you can talk about these things. You can share with each other what's working well, what's not working, maybe get some advice about things that you could try. And sometimes we just need to have this message like I'm giving you today, that it is okay to have challenging days. Honestly, as I was writing my notes for this episode, it was a really good reminder to me about some of the challenges, because we're going through some situations with our daughters where sometimes I think, shouldn't we be past this by now? And no, they're still learning, they're still growing. It's okay, we'll get there. It's good to have those reminders. So some of the key takeaways for me are that it doesn't get easier being a parent. It just changes. And once we can accept that, it's a lot easier for us to do something about it. And every stage has its own opportunities and ways that we can celebrate. They're just different. It's also important that we normalize the difficulty of parenting older teens and young adults, especially when they're neurodivergent. It looks different than the rest of the world. And if our parenting journey is a little different, that's okay. What are you taking away from today's episode? What do you want to do differently as a result of what you've heard? I want to invite you to pause a moment, take a deep breath, and think about what you want to celebrate about this current parenting stage. What are you grateful for in this moment? I want to encourage you to subscribe, leave a rating and review, or leave a comment if you're watching on YouTube, and give us a thumbs up. Help others to find this podcast. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next week.